What's up, Sweet Heat fam? Today I'm making good old smothered pork chops. Stay tuned. So I'm starting off with some pork center cut pork chops with the bone in. I'm just going to place these in a bowl so that they can sit in some lemon water. I sometimes use a real lemon to scrub the pork chops, but I didn't feel like doing all of that this time. After you clean the meat, you want to make sure the meat is dry all of the way before you fry it. When you're frying pork chops, you want to make sure that you're seasoning it heavily. I'm starting off with some garlic powder and then some onion powder. I added some pepper. Complete seasoning. And some paprika. And then I add some oil so that I can make sure I mix everything properly. And when I'm mixing it up, I make sure that I press the seasoning inside of the pork chop. And then you want to refrigerate it for about an hour, or you can leave it overnight. After it's done marinating, you want to leave it out so that it can get room temperature before you cook it. And then you just pour some flour in a bowl, and I'm just going to coat the pork chops lightly. I'm shaking the excess flour off. So you want to pour enough oil to cover the bottom, and you don't want to overcrowd your pan, so I'm only going to put in about 4 at a time. After a couple minutes, you want to flip them over. You don't want to overcook them, so you don't have to cook it for that long. Just cook it until it forms a nice little crust on both sides. This is what it looks like when it's done. I just place it on a cooling rack so all of the excess oil can drain off. So don't judge me, y'all. I'm not the best at cutting vegetables, but I tried to hurry up because this onion was making me cry. I know people say that you can cut it under some running water or you could freeze it, but I don't know. Y'all comment below and let me know how y'all cut onions. After you're done frying your pork chops, you want to keep the oil because that's where all the seasoning is. And then you just want to add your vegetables to it. I had more oil than this, but I poured some out because it was just too much. But I'm just going to saute the onions and the green peppers for a couple of minutes. when you're adding the flour, you want to be really careful because I messed up. Y'all gonna see. But you just want to add a little bit at a time. As you're adding the flour little by little, you want to make sure that you're whisking it or stirring it as you go. So I was trying to add the leftover flour that was in the bowl, but it ended up pouring too much. But don't worry because you can fix it. I'm just cooking out the dough and I'm adding a little bit of chicken stock to it as I go so that it won't be too clumpy. I'm just adding it little by little. So after you get the smooth consistency, I'm just going to add a little bit of seasoning, the same seasonings that I used to season the pork chops. And this part is optional. I just put a little bit of browning in it so that it can get a dark brown color, but you don't have to add that. And then you just want to add all of your pork chops in and make sure that the gravy is covering each pork chop. And remember guys, I sell my recipes for as low as $1, so I will leave that link below. It will tell you all the seasonings that I use, and I also put measurements if you guys need it. It'll all be in the link below. And then you want to put the lid on low and cook it for about an hour or hour and a half until it gets tender. Thank you all for subscribing and watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and let me know what you think of these videos.